young, gifted, and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted, and black.
So, Ms. Duncan, can you just go ahead and give us your full name?
Louise Duncan. Well, I'll give you, I will say Louise Cardwell Duncan. I'll put my maiden name in there.
And your age and date of birth?
I'm 87 and April the 22nd, 1931. We lived on a farm between Dutchtown and Whitewater.
Tell me a little bit about your earliest memories of the AME, the church.
Oh, Lord. I can remember going to church when I was like this. And my mom, in the very beginning, my dad didn't go to church very much, but my mom did. And I can remember she'd take me to church with my brother, even before my brother was born. And she'd sit me back there on the back seat or something. And I can remember going to sleep in the church, just falling out on the pen. Then as I got older, we had a certain place in the church to sit. We sit on the first 2 or 3 benches in the front of the church. And St. James was kind of like a meeting place for everything. We had the biggest building. All the meetings, main meetings, and the teachers, when they would have teachers meetings from all over southeast Missouri. Of course, the white folks could go to the restaurants and eat, but there was very few black restaurants. There was a couple or whatnot, but St. James always had big dinner, would set up the dinner for the teachers when they would do that. And anytime something came up, a big program or something, the NAACP was born at St. James. I said, well, that's not new for St. James. When there was a place south of here, down here, we called it Smelterville. You probably heard of it. That used to all flood. The river would flood all of that out. And people didn't have any place to live. And St. James opened up the basement and let people come in to live. Anytime a person came through Cape and they got stranded or needed help, they came to St. James.
Who was the pastor that you remember?
Oh, Lord, I've been so, that's the funny thing about the AME church. You don't keep a pastor too long. Used to, we kind of keep one a little bit longer now, but to me, most of them ain't. But used to, we keep a preacher maybe 2 years, 3 years, and then they move them, That's just the way it was.
So is St. James the oldest black church in this area?
I think so. Down on the street, Lorimer Street. I don't know if you've ever paid any attention, but there's some steps right above that lot where you turn in that driveway. There used to be a church right up there. A Baptist church.
Is that the First Baptist Church?
That's where the AME church, I always say that's where the AME church was born. Those men were going to church there, up there on that bluff. And they decided to start their own church. So they took a building up there right across from where the church is now. And that's where the first AME church was.
So around that AME church, what kind of neighborhood was that?
Well, across the street in front of the church, there was 2 houses where black people lived at, the Olivers, and I can't remember who the other one was, Adams or something like that. And then the other couple of houses was white. Down the street where the funeral home, that big old building on the corner, that was probably white. But then 2 or 3 houses below that, where we were talking about the greenhouse that was there, and another house from there to Fountain Street was black.
So that's kind of over there in that area.
So and then in the alley behind the church, there was several buildings too. And then if you go down, like on the corner where where that funeral home is at, that where that they got that a park in there now. That used to be a hollow.
What's a hollow?
A dump hollow where people dump their trash and stuff. And that's what that was. All of that used to have houses all in there, part of it, but a section of it was a dump. And all those houses are gone, but that's the way it was.
Do you remember that the AME, did they have a nice choir?
Oh yeah, we always had a choir. In fact, we mostly had, I was teasing my granddaughter the other day. She always teased me about listening to the Jimmy Swaggart and the Gaithers and whatnot. They teased me about listening to the Gaithers singing. I said, those are the songs that I grew up singing in church. And they said, how you know all them songs? I said, because from the time I was 6 years old, probably, I was singing in the junior choir at church, and then I went on up. I sung in the choir till I got to the place because we had steps to go up in the choir since they tore the choir loft out of there. Till I got to where I was, crippled. I couldn't get up the steps. I quit singing in the choir, but I sung in the choir from the time I was about 5 or 6 years old till I was in my 60s probably, And hymns are my favorite thing, I love the old hymns to sing.
What's your favorite hymn?
Yeah.
What's your favorite hymn?
Oh, my favorite hymn is probably a hymn that nobody knows, and it's called Life's Railway to Heaven.
Could you give me just a couple?
Life is like a mountain railroad with an engineer that's brave. I probably can't remember all the words. Life is like a mountain railroad with an engineer that's brave. We must make the run successful from the cradle to the grave. Watch the hills and tunnels. Never falter, never fail. Keep your eye up on the throttle and your eye up on the rail. Blessed Savior, thou art with me. And it's got 3 or 4 verses to it, but that's my favorite song. I tell everybody, I tell my cat, don't y'all forget to sing my song at my funeral, because that's my favorite song. And a lot of people don't know about that, but that's always been my favorite. I don't know why I like that, but I love that song. Life is like a mountain railroad.
Blissful shore, where the angels wait to join us in thy praise forevermore. As you roll across the trestle, spanning Jordan's swelling tide, you'll behold the Union Depot, into which your train will glide. There you'll meet the superintendent, God the Father the sun